I know your secret, Chapter 1. The hidden truth. I know your secret, Harry Potter. The words, whispered with a sultry edge, sent a shiver down Harry's spine. The speaker was a 17-year-old vision, a girl whose beauty was as disarming as it was dangerous. Fleur Delacour, with her cascading silver blonde hair and piercing blue eyes, had an allure that made Harry's knees weak. She was a Veela, her ethereal charm radiating in waves that threatened to unravel his composure. He wasn't sure if she knew he'd pieced together her true nature, but he suspected she did. The magical world clung to myths about half Veela, but Harry knew better. Veela lineage didn't dilute. A female child born to a Veela was always a Veela, no matter the other parent. Whispers of their ability to bond with any gender had been swept under the rug by a prudish wizarding society, but Harry prided himself on his open mind. Secrets, after all, were his currency. Fleur's breath grazed his ear, warm and teasing, as she pinned him against the wooden wall of the antechamber. Her grip on his wrists was firm, holding them above his head, her body pressed close enough for him to feel the heat of her curves. Her lips brushed his neck, and Harry's heart raced, torn between the thrill of her touch and the dread of her words. Those cool, knowing eyes confirmed it. She knew. Veela could sense things, secrets buried deep, with a mere breath. Harry's pulse quickened as she inhaled, her lips hovering over his skin, her chest flush against his. Her lips hovering over his skin, her chest flush against his. He quivered, ensnared by her allure, his teenage hormones waging war against his better judgment. I eat, he stammered, a crimson flush creeping up his cheeks. Words eluded him, his mind fogged by her proximity. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you want with me? Fleur pulled back slightly, her grin mesmerizing, her Veela charm hitting him like a tidal wave. Oh, Harry, she purred, her voice a blend of silk and steel. Don't play coy. I can smell you. Her lips grazed his cheek, sending another jolt through him. I can taste your secret on your skin, see the truth you hide beneath this facade. Her eyes locked onto his, stripping away his defenses. You're different, stronger than you let on. Harry's knees buckled, but he clung to his resolve, fighting the pull of her magic. It was intoxicating, her power weaving through his senses, tempting him to let go. A part of him wanted her to see everything, to accept him for it. But her words had also doused him with cold reality. She knew. And that was dangerous. The day had started so well, Harry mused, considering the chaos that was his life at Hogwarts. Mornings with Ron and Hermione were a familiar rhythm. Banter with Ron, teasing Hermione about her study habits, and dodging the usual whispers about his scar. Annoying Hermione was a particular joy. Her indignation at his last-minute homework habits, which still earned him solid marks, never failed to amuse. She'd huff, her brown eyes flashing, but eventually settle with a book in hand, her head resting in his lap as they lounged in the Gryffindor common room. Those moments of calm, with her curls spilling over his knees and Ron's laughter filling the air, were rare and precious. But Hogwarts, true to form, couldn't let peace linger. The Halloween feast had been a spectacle of pumpkin-laden tables and enchanted ceilings, the Great Hall buzzing with anticipation for the Triwizard Tournament, or, as it was now, the Quadwizard Tournament, thanks to an unexpected twist. Harry had been thrilled by the age restriction. 17 and older meant he was safe from the madness. Or so he thought. He was Harry Potter, after all, and trouble had a way of finding him. The arrival of the foreign schools had been a highlight. Beauxbatons brought elegance, their blue robes gliding through the halls, while Durmstrang students carried an air of menace. Harry's research had raised red flags about the latter. Their curriculum leaned heavily into the dark arts, a fact that made him question Dumbledore's decision to include them. Why not a school like Whitehall from Australia, with its reputation for innovation and, rumor had it, some rather stunning witches? Not that Harry could date anyone, not with Dumbledore's penchant for meddling in his life. Still, he couldn't help but wonder about Durmstrang's lack of female students. Were they hidden away, or was there something darker at play? The Goblet of Fire's ceremony had been electric, the flames spitting out names to raucous cheers. Harry clapped politely for Victor Krum and Fleur Delacour, but his heart swelled when Cedric Diggory was chosen for Hogwarts. A Hufflepuff champion was a rare triumph, and Harry relished the thought of Cedric's smug father eating his words about that Quidditch match, conveniently forgetting the Dementors that had swarmed Harry mid-game. Then came the moment that shattered the night. The goblet flared again, and Dumbledore's voice rang out. "Harry Potter!" The hall fell silent, all eyes on him. Harry's stomach dropped. He wasn't surprised, not really. Hogwarts had a knack for dragging him into danger, but the weight of it settled like lead in his chest. Dumbledore's expression, a mix of concern and calculation, confirmed Harry's suspicions. The old man wasn't as shocked as he should have been. Resigned, Harry trudged to the antechamber, ignoring the murmurs and glares. Inside, the other champions awaited. Cedric's friendly nod, Krum's stoic glance, and Fleur's peculiar stare. She'd been watching him oddly since her arrival, her gaze neither hostile nor dismissive like the one she shot at Ron. It was curious, almost tender, but now as she pinned him to the wall, it was something else entirely. Hungry, predatory, and dangerously alluring. Dumbledore stormed in with the other professors, his eyes blazing as he demanded, "Did you put your name in the goblet, Harry?" The accusation stung, and Harry's temper flared. He knew Dumbledore knew he hadn't. The headmaster's insistence was a performance, nothing more. "Sure, whatever," Harry snapped, shrugging with exaggerated nonchalance. "It's not like anyone cares about the truth." His voice dripped with boredom, masking the anger simmering beneath. He was tired of being the scapegoat, the pawn in everyone's schemes. To his surprise, Snape stepped in, sneering, "The boy's too dim to bypass your age line, Albus." It was a backhanded defense, but Harry would take it. Moody, whose twitchy demeanor set Harry's instincts on edge, nodded along, while McGonagall's tight-lipped silence spoke volumes. The professors debated, but the outcome was inevitable. The goblet's contract was binding, they claimed, though Harry knew it was nonsense. His name hadn't been entered by his hand, rendering the contract void. But Dumbledore's will was law, and Harry was to compete. As the others filed out, Harry lingered, his mind racing. He hadn't noticed Fleur staying behind until she pounced, her movements swift and graceful, like a panther cornering its prey. Now pressed against the wall, her lips trailing his neck, Harry struggled to think. Her tongue flicked against his skin, tasting the salt of his nervous sweat, and he felt his resistance crumbling. Veela were stronger than humans, their allure a potent magic that sapped his strength. He could have used a burst of magic to break free, but the thought of escape felt distant, almost absurd. Why would he want to leave this? Fleur's lips moved to his ear, her breath hot and teasing. "Don't be coy, Harry," she murmured, her voice a husky melody that made his heart stutter. "I can smell your truth, taste it on your skin. You're hiding something beautiful beneath this mask." Her eyes held him captive, her power overwhelming. "You resist me so well. Most would be puddles at my feet by now. But not you. You're extraordinary." Harry's blush deepened, his mind scrambling for a response. Truth? He managed, aiming for confusion but knowing he wasn't fooling her. Her scent, her touch, her voice, they were unraveling him. It's this new Link spray, you know? Antiperspirant and... Her laughter was music, cutting through his weak deflection. She pressed closer, her curves molding against him, her lips brushing his with deliberate intent. "No, silly," she said, her smile wicked. "I don't care about your muggle sprays." She nipped at his lips, pulling back when he instinctively leaned in. "Your will is remarkable. I could break gods with this power, but you stand firm. I like that." Harry snorted, trying to shake off her spell. "I go along with Dumbledore's nonsense because it suits me," he said, the words slipping out before he could stop them. "It's fun to mess with his perfect plans sometimes." He glanced at the frozen paintings on the walls, their stillness a testament to Fleur's magic. "You know they spy for him, don't you?" Fleur's smile widened, her ruby lips curving with approval. "Clever boy," she said, kissing his forehead. "It must be tiresome, watching your words in these halls." Her touch sent another shiver through him, but he clung to the conversation, desperate for a lifeline. "Yeah," he said, stretching the word to buy time. "I need to go. The common room's going to be a nightmare." He wanted her to release him, yet part of him hoped she wouldn't. The contradiction was maddening. With a graceful shrug, Fleur stepped back, releasing his wrists. Harry lowered his arms, surprised by how much he missed her touch. She gestured toward the door, her movement elegant and inviting. "Then I bid you good night, my dear Harry Potter," she said, her voice dreamy. "But I will see the real you soon, and I'll kiss your truest lips in my embrace." Harry managed a nervous smile, bolting from the antechamber before his resolve crumbled. His heart pounded as he felt her gaze linger, a mix of thrill and fear coursing through him. Could someone become addicted to Veela's pull? Or was it just Fleur? Her beauty, her intensity, and the unsettling fact that she wanted him, secret and all? The Gryffindor common room was a riot of noise and celebration when Harry returned. His housemates mobbed him, praising his supposed cunning in bypassing Dumbledore's age line. He played along, spinning different tales for each questioner, some plausible, others absurd, like removing the age line entirely or charming the goblet with a beard-growing hex. The chaos amused him, a distraction from Fleur in the tournament. Hermione, however, was less than thrilled. She plopped onto the couch beside him, 2 butterbeers in hand, and passed him one. "You're going to start a riot with all these rumors," she said, her tone disapproving but fond. "You don't care about this tournament, do you?" Harry took a sip, the sweet fizz calming his nerves. "Not a bit," he said, grinning. "I could fund the whole thing with my family's vault and still have galleons to spare. But I don't need the prize money or the glory." Hermione's eyes narrowed, glancing around to ensure no one was listening. "Harry, don't be reckless," she hissed. "You don't want Dumbledore knowing you've accessed the Potter estate, do you?" He chuckled, unfazed. "Maybe we could use it to fight him in ways he'd never expect," he teased, earning an exasperated sigh. "But seriously, this tournament's dangerous. Whoever entered my name isn't trying to kill me. They want me to win. It's too elaborate for a death trap. Probably Voldemort's doing, and Dumbledore's letting it happen." Hermione's frown deepened, but she didn't argue. "Fine," she said. "I'll go along with it. But we should investigate Moody. He's off. Too theatrical, like he's playing a part." Harry nodded, impressed by her intuition. Agreed, he's not what he seems. He leaned back, the weight of the day settling in. "And Ron's out, by the way. He's throwing a tantrum about me stealing the spotlight. Good riddance." Hermione's lips twitched, a mix of amusement and disapproval. "You've been saying he's a spy for Dumbledore for years. This just proves it." "Exactly," Harry said, smirking. "Now you see why I've been dodging him." He caught sight of Ginny passing by and on impulse, pulled her onto the couch beside him. She yelped, her face turning scarlet. "Ginny, tell Hermione I'm right about the Ministry hexing Muggleborns to fear Voldemort's name." Ginny blinked, flustered, but considered it. I don't know," she stammered. "Some Muggleborn girls act weird when they hear it, and with you around, they hear it a lot." "See?" Harry said triumphantly. "Ginny gets it." Hermione rolled her eyes. "Ginny would agree if you said the earth was flat." Ginny's blush deepened and she looked away, mortified. "Hexing everyone's too much effort, Harry." "The bad guys love over-the-top plans," he countered, yawning. "And I bet it's the light's doing, making Voldemort's name a taboo to seem brave." He pulled both girls into a quick hug, laughing as Hermione squirmed and Ginny froze, starry-eyed. "Night, ladies. I've got a deadly tournament to train for." Harry's private quarters, a perk of his first-year lie about claustrophobia, were a sanctuary. The 2-room apartment, warded to admit only him and McGonagall, was a haven from Dumbledore's spies. He'd removed the headmaster and Snape from the access list, thanks to a handy book McGonagall had accidentally left behind. The common room, a miniature version of Gryffindor's, had a secure flue and no prying portraits. Harry had banished those after learning they reported to Dumbledore. In his bedroom, he swapped the garish red and gold hangings for creams and purples, a choice that raised Dumbledore's eyebrows. The old man had once gifted him a red cloak to cover a green one, as if Harry's color preferences were a Gryffindor betrayal. Harry had passed the cloak to Daphne Greengrass, a Slytherin whose icy demeanor hid a sharp wit. She wore it to spite Dumbledore, a small rebellion Harry admired. Daphne and her sister Astoria were rare Slytherins he could tolerate, beautiful, clever, and not inherently malicious. Kicking off his shoes, Harry glanced at his reflection in the mirror. Slender and slightly shorter than average, with neatly trimmed black hair and vivid green eyes, he looked deceptively ordinary. But his secret, the one Fleur had sensed, shimmered beneath the surface. He smirked, wondering if Daphne would like him more if she knew. Shaking off the thought, he shed his robe and tie, too tired for pajamas, and slipped into bed. The soft sheets enveloped him as he drifted into dreams of a silver-haired siren, her touch lingering in his mind, stirring desires he wasn't ready to face. End of chapter 1. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, or follow for more.